It all started on a quiet Saturday morning. We were sipping coffee in our kitchen when a loud, non-stop banging came from our front gate. I walked outside, confused, only to see a man dressed like some sort of officer, clipboard in hand, sunglasses on, pacing like he owned the place. He claimed he was with the HOA and started yelling about a violation on our property. But here's the twist. We don't even have an HOA. That was red flag number one. He kept going, threatening fines, saying he'd report us, even though he couldn't explain who exactly he worked for. That's when my wife stepped outside. Now, she usually lets me handle things, but the second she saw him flashing a fake badge and getting aggressive, everything changed. What this guy didn't know was, my wife is a county sheriff. She stood there calm, arms crossed, while he kept running his mouth, clueless about who he was dealing with. And just when I thought things couldn't get weirder, he made a move that pushed it way too far. What happened next? Let's just say it didn't go how he expected, and it's something you'll want to see for yourself. Stick around, because this story takes a turn you won't believe. So here's where things started to get really strange. The guy, still pretending to be some kind of HOA enforcer, pointed at a bush near our fence and said it was non-compliant landscaping. I asked again who he worked for, and he just waved me off like I was wasting his time. My wife didn't say much yet, just watched, calm and quiet, like she was sizing him up. Now, to give you some background, our neighborhood doesn't even have a homeowners association. It's one of the reasons we moved here in the first place. No surprise inspections, no weird rules. So hearing this guy throw around made-up violations and quoting rules that don't exist, yeah, it was beyond suspicious. He wasn't just being pushy, he was trying to scare us. He kept glancing over at his car, parked halfway on our driveway, like he was waiting for someone, or maybe hoping we'd just back down. He even tried to take photos of our property. That's when my wife stepped forward a little real calm and asked for his name. He paused, stuttered a bit, then gave a name we later found out doesn't even show up in any local records. At that point, it wasn't just annoying anymore. It was starting to feel like something way more serious, and we hadn't even seen what was in his car yet. My wife asked again, this time a little firmer, "What's your name and who exactly do you work for?" He muttered something under his breath and looked away, then tried to switch the subject back to our so-called violation. That's when I noticed something, his fake badge. It didn't have a seal, no department name, and definitely not something you'd expect from a real officer. Just a shiny piece of metal clipped to his belt. My wife caught it too. She gave me a quick glance, the kind that says, "This guy's bluffing." Then he started throwing around words like civil code, saying he had the right to issue fines on behalf of the neighborhood association. But again, there is no HOA. My wife asked for identification. He refused, said it wasn't required, and that we were obligated to comply or face further action. That's when the situation turned from weird to seriously shady. Meanwhile, our neighbor, Mrs. Green, who's lived here for over 20 years, stepped outside. She walked over and asked what was going on. The guy told her the same lie, claiming he was with community enforcement. She squinted at him, then whispered to my wife, "That's not a name I've ever heard around here." So, who was this guy really? And what was he actually trying to do? That's what we were about to find out. At this point, the tension was thick enough to cut with a knife. The guy's fake confidence was starting to crack, but he wasn't ready to back down. He glanced nervously toward his car again, like he was expecting backup, or maybe a way out. My wife took a slow step forward, her voice calm but firm. "You need to leave. Now." That's when he made a move I wasn't expecting. He reached for the gate handle and tried to force it open. Our gate isn't cheap, built strong to keep unwanted visitors out, but he was pounding on it like he wanted to break it down. The loud banging echoed through the quiet neighborhood, drawing curious eyes from nearby houses. Mrs. Green and a few others started gathering, their faces a mix of confusion and concern. I could see the fear flicker in this guy's eyes, but instead of stopping, he just pushed harder. That's when my wife, who'd been silent until then, stepped right in front of him and said, "You're trespassing, and I'm a sheriff. If you don't leave immediately, there will be consequences." He hesitated, sweat forming on his forehead, but still wouldn't back off. Something about him felt desperate, like this wasn't just some HOA dispute gone wrong. What was he really after? Why risk getting caught? The whole scene felt like it was about to explode into something serious. And just as I reached for my phone to call for backup, he did something that left us all stunned. Just as I was about to dial, the man suddenly stopped pounding the gate and slowly backed away. Then, without warning, he reached into his jacket and pulled out a phone, but instead of calling for help, he started recording us. My wife's eyes narrowed. "Why are you filming?" she asked, voice steady but sharp. He smirked, like he had some secret advantage. "You don't get it, do you? I'm gathering evidence of your harassment. This isn't over." That was when everything shifted. A second car pulled up behind his, tires crunching gravel. Two other men stepped out, both dressed casually but moving with purpose. They didn't say a word, just stood watching. It felt like they were ready to escalate the situation if needed. My heart raced. This wasn't some simple fake HOA cop anymore. It was turning into something much bigger and more dangerous. Who were these guys? And what did they want from us? My wife stayed calm, but I could tell she was already calculating her next move. Suddenly, the man with the fake badge started speaking again, louder this time. "You're going to regret this. You don't know who you're messing with." But what he didn't realize was that we weren't alone, and this neighborhood wasn't going to be an easy target. What would happen next was anyone's guess. The tension was about to reach a breaking point, and no one knew how it would end. Before things could spiral any further, my wife calmly pulled out her badge, real, official, unmistakable, and held it up for everyone to see. The three men froze. "I'm a sheriff, and this is my property. You're trespassing. Leave now, or we'll have no choice but to arrest you." Her voice was steady but carried an undeniable authority. The man with the fake badge blinked, then suddenly dropped his phone and stepped back, signaling the others to do the same. The tension broke just a little, but the threat still lingered. They muttered something about misunderstandings and quickly got into their cars. As they pulled away, neighbors who had been watching started applauding quietly, relief flooding the street. I was still shaking but grateful. We'd handled something dangerous without violence. But then, just as we thought it was over, my wife checked the phone the fake cop dropped. It wasn't just a phone. It was full of messages, photos, even a map marked with several addresses, including ours. "This wasn't random," she said quietly. "They're targeting other homes. Someone's orchestrating this." Suddenly, the problem was bigger than just one fake cop at our gate. Someone was planning something, and we were right in the middle of it. The question now wasn't just about what happened today, it was what comes next. And trust me, you're going to want to stick around for that. After we found the phone, things moved quickly. My wife contacted her department, and they started looking into the messages and photos. It turned out the fake cop and his crew were part of a scam targeting multiple neighborhoods, posing as HOA enforcers to intimidate homeowners and gain access to private property. Their goal? Still unclear, but it was obvious they were up to no good. The sheriff's department increased patrols in our area, and neighbors banded together to watch out for any suspicious activity. We even set up a community alert group to keep everyone informed. What started as a scary and confusing situation became a powerful reminder: vigilance and knowing your rights matter. Looking back, the whole experience taught us how important it is to stay calm and stand firm when faced with threats, especially from people pretending to have authority. It also showed how a strong community can make a difference. And honestly, I'm proud of how my wife handled everything with such professionalism and strength. So, if you ever face something strange like this, remember, trust your instincts, ask for proof, and don't let anyone push you around. Thanks for watching, and stay safe out there.